The old jouch.
The old jouch.
Yeah.
And with that, I will say hello, everyone. Welcome to the Stream Void Podcast, episode 117.
Wow.
I am Mikey D, and of course, across from me is Curb Stomp. You
Hello.
can find us everywhere under our respected monikers.
Welcome.
Yeah, it is February the 19th, 2023. February is almost out.
Been 45 for 11 days now. What can I say? What can I say?
Wow.
Oh, it's crazy.
I know. You are listening to the Stream Void Podcast. This is a show about life and video games and everything in between.
I'll nod along. Yes.
Very good.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about life
Okay.
first
Okay.
and
Like
things that you
work?
did in your life,
At work.
at work,
Well,
or, just in general.
in my life, nothing.
No? Oh?
No, the usual. Ate some food, slept sometimes.
Wow.
Whatever,
That's great.
Yeah, pretty good. Pretty full life
That's
I
a
lead.
rich life for sure.
Yeah, it's super rich. Dread my existence. No, that's continual. I don't know. I can't remember if last week or this week, or I don't know if I told last week, like how they came to me and they were like, you don't have to do all this other shit at work anymore. Did I
Yeah.
tell you that? Like I don't have to
No.
do web orders now, or I don't have to count the money at the store anymore.
No.
Like,
I don't think you talked about that.
okay, so they were like, "Oh yeah, you're busy, doing your stuff, and you're going to be working at the warehouse, which I want to do. So we're taking this stuff away from you." And they're like, I don't know what their deal is. Like, I guess it's to be nice or whatever and reassure you or whatever. They're like, you're not doing a bad job, but like I think your time is better spent doing this other thing. And I was just like, yeah, I know. Like I already knew my time was wasted doing this stuff. So I was doing the counting of the money every day,
Yeah.
where it'd be like I'd have to count how much money we made and like make a bank deposit and shit. And I was like, okay, if they want me to count this, but like literally a monkey could do this. Like it's super easy, right?
Have to be a trained monkey.
Yeah, but like even then, like not that much. Like how hard is it? I guess it is pretty hard because there's one girl who every time she counts the till at the end of the day, it's wrong. Somehow she's miscounted it and been like, oh, she overcounted $40 and it's in the deposit rather than in the float. And it's like, how did you do that? Like, it's not even like you did it by like a quarter or a dime or like it's a weird number. It's like you left an extra two $20 bills. Like, how do you do that?
They were stuck together.
No. Anyways, they were like, you're not going to do that anymore. And then the other thing I was doing was the web orders. And I don't know if that's because they actually don't want me to do that, or I don't know. Sometimes they'll sort of look and they won't get the whole picture. Like there was a few orders that I hadn't done shipped out, and maybe they were like, oh, he doesn't have time to do it. But it's like, no, we didn't have the fucking product. I was waiting for us to get it. But I was like, that's fine. Someone else can do that. I don't care. I don't want to do it. I didn't want to do it in the first place. So I'm not going to do any of that stuff. I'm just going to do, I'm back to what I did before, orders, which is all I wanted to do.
Yeah.
But I'm also doing the warehouse, which I like to do. So it's fine. So I'm not really dealing with the woman anymore. Like she doesn't get to like teach me anything or whatever.
Not like she did in the first place.
Well,
but,
yeah, exactly. But now it's like, before it'd be like, oh, I want to order a new item. And it would be like, okay, you can add it in. And I'd be like, okay. And I'd add it in the computer. Now it's back to be like, here, add this in for me. And I'm going to go back to my work here.
Yeah.
So I don't have to do that shit anymore. But, I know how to do that stuff now. So I will do it if, there's no one else around to do it or whatever.
Yeah.
But I've been having some trouble with like weird things I'm finding in the system. Like it'll be like, we're ordering these lures, right? We just did inventory, and I'm looking at the inventory listing. It's like, well, we haven't this one item. There's 4 stores. Our store has none. Okay, all the other stores have like 30 each. They haven't sold one in like 4 years. So I'm like, we just did inventory. So I like contact the store and be like, can you just double check and see if you have this item? And they'll be like, yeah, we have it. I'll be like, okay, send me a picture. And they send me a picture. So I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh, okay, I know what's wrong here. UPCs, when they scan, they're very weird, and you can set them up to scan in different ways. Like you can have it scan the whole barcode, but most places only have the first 11 digits scan, and then the last number doesn't scan on the barcode. But for whatever reason, these ones were put into the system with the last digit. So when you go to the till and scan it, it would never scan that item because it scans with that extra number. So it's like, well, how are we selling them if they don't scan? And then I look and it's like, well, they were added in without that number as well. So there's 2 records for the same item, separate inventories. So then I'm like, well, why the fuck were they not inventoried properly? Like, they should have 0. You scan it with the scanner, it should not work basically because it doesn't scan that way.
Yeah.
But it still says they have 30. So I had to do all this digging, and like the way she did their inventory was wrong because the only store that was right was the store I did.
Yeah.
So the stores she did were all wrong. So anyways, I'm asking her, I'm like, look at this here. And I swear to, I was flabbergasted. This is the woman that's in charge of our computers. Like, she doesn't set them up, but she makes all the decisions and purchases and doing this stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm like, look here. This is like this. I alt tab. This is like this. I alt tab. And she's like, whoa, 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 whoa. What are you doing? I'm like, well, I'm showing you. She's like, but how did you do it? I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, how did you switch between them so fast? And I was like, what? And she's like, well, how did you go from one page to the other so fast? And I was like, I hit alt tab. She's like, wow, you can do that? And I just was like, oh my God. She's like, oh yeah, I usually have to go down and click on it on the taskbar. And I was like, you've been doing that for 10 years? Oh my God. I was just like, oh, okay. Yeah, you can just alt tab. And then I was like, and if you have like a window that has multiple tabs, you can control tab between them too. And that, wow. And I was just like, oh my fucking God. Oh my God. I couldn't believe that shit. Like, she's been doing that for 10 years.
No, she's been doing that her whole life.
Well, but like, since she's worked there,
Yeah.
since she started, she's been doing it, clicking on the taskbar for 10 years. I was just like I was stunned. Like I just was like, oh yeah, alt tab lets you go through all this stuff. Oh wow, that's a real time saver. I just was like, yeah, it really makes things go by quick, right? So then I was like, well, like, does she know about snapping like 2 windows? So I was like, did you know about this? And I snapped the 2 windows. She's like, wow. And I was like, oh my God, this is incredible that you're in charge of our computers.
Oh man, that's funny.
Yeah, I just was like, holy fuck, mind blown. It was incredible to me. Yeah, so whatever. Like, that was my work week, basically. Like, my mind was shattered for the rest of the week. I couldn't do any work.
That's great. I love it.
Oh my God. Yeah, like, and I've overheard her, like, you know, when she's buying a new printer or whatever. Actually, we have the big printer we rent, like the big ass one, because it's just cheaper than buying it.
Mm-hmm.
But we have like we have a check printer for printing checks.
Yeah.
And we got a new one, and the computer guys come in to put it in there because she doesn't do that. And they're like, okay, you have to put this sheet in this. So she's like, I don't want it that way. And they're like, what do you mean? She's like, I specifically said I want it so when you put the check in face up. And they're like, well, this one you just have to put upside down. She's like, no, I don't want it. And they're like, well, what? She's like, I specifically said it has to go in the exact same way. And they're just kind of like, okay. Like, I don't know what they did, if they got a new printer or they finally just were like, this is just the way it works. Like, things change over time. But she was like, no, it has to go in upside down and face this way when it goes in. And I'm sitting there like shaking my head like, you can just like remember you put it in upside down now. Like,
or right side up.
or whatever, whichever way it goes, right? Or like you put it in, oh, I printed it wrong the first time. I'll flip it over. Just crazy, dude. So yeah, she's in charge of my computers.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was crazy to me. So anyways.
Yeah.
And then, I know she doesn't know how to do like a snapshot of the screen. Like if you hit Windows Control S and you can take a clipping tool. Because I had an error on my thing or whatever. She's like, oh, I need that information. I was like getting ready to, control whatever. And she pulled out her phone to take a picture of it. And I was like, well, I could just send it to you. She's like, no, that's okay. And I was like, all right, whatever. Take a picture of the monitor. So that was basically my work week.
Wow.
I mean, I also didn't work. Well, I didn't work Wednesday or Thursday. Right now, it's really slow. Like, we don't do that many orders. There's not much going on at the warehouse, so I'm only working like 3 days a week.
Yeah.
So I worked at the warehouse, and then I worked at the store on Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, I was like, oh, I'll just go in, finish out the week, off Thursday, Friday. And I literally walked all the way to work, and I'm like a minute away, and I'm like, I shouldn't have worked today. Because I guarantee you, between now and Friday, the boss is going to be like, oh, I want this done. Or I need this done. Or I want this done. So I came into work, and I worked for 2 hours, and I said, like, look, I'm going to go home. I'm going to come in on Friday because I guarantee you, if I stay all day today, the boss is going to want something done by the end of the week. And I'm gonna have to come in anyways. And they're like, oh, okay, no problem. So then, like, literally the next day, I get these texts from the boss, like, oh, you need to do this order, that order, or whatever. And I was like, yeah, I'll be there Friday. I'll do it then. So I only worked a couple days, so that was pretty nice.
There you go.
Shortly, I'm gonna go back to the 5 days again. Yeah, like a real big boy.
A real big boy.
Yeah, exactly. So, anyways, how was your work week?
Yeah, stressful.
Still?
Yeah, well, my boss, my local boss, makes it more stressful than it needs to be.
How so?
Let me give you his typical week.
Okay.
Monday, he's stressed out. He comes in. I'm like, this is our plan. And he's like, come to my office. And then he berates me for 20 minutes when he could have just been like, oh, we should do it like this. But no, he berates me for 20 minutes instead. And then he's just like, we got to come up with a plan. I'm like, I already came up with a plan. We already talked about it.
Yeah.
And so Tuesday, we got to come up with a plan. You have to do this, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, okay, I'll do it. Don't worry about it. Wednesday, we have to come up with a plan. You got to do this, blah, 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 blah. And Wednesday afternoon, we got to come up with a plan, blah, blah, blah. You got to do this. I'm like, yeah, your memory's just gone, dude. It's just absolutely gone. We've already talked about this. We've already done it.
So who's this guy?
He's the regional manager.
So why is he in your office?
Because that's where his office is.
Oh, so his office is there now?
Yeah, it's always been there.
Oh,
it's always been there. But
so
he was just a project manager, but now he's been promoted to a regional manager.
Okay. How old is he?
60 something.
He should retire, dude.
It's coming.
Yeah,
it's
right.
coming.
Is he gonna be like the other guy that was 80?
No.
Okay.
He's gonna retire sooner than that. Yeah, it's been stressful just because he's just talking to me, like berating me and like telling me what I need to do.
Tell him to fuck off.
And even though I'm like, hey, I'm gonna do it this day because that's the time that I can actually do it.
Yeah, I think you need to fucking go back in his face. He needs to be, put in his spot. Be like, don't talk to me like that way, you fucking old fuck. I can take you out right now. What's your problem? Play this in the speaker for him. Play this in the shop whenever you listen to the podcast. I'll tell him off right now. You old fuck.
Do it. So yeah, that's been extremely stressful.
Yeah.
Just because it's like, I know he's old. I know he's got problems with his memory, so it's hard to get mad at him because he's not going to remember. Especially when
that's even better then. You can like cathartically fucking explode on him, and the next day he'll be like, good to see you. He won't remember. Just scream at him all you want.
Maybe. And so he's like, you got to be out of the office more. You got to be out in the field more.
Oh, fuck that guy.
I'm like, okay, I will be. And then I can't get anything done. So I got meetings like Tuesdays and Thursdays. Like, well, what day am I supposed to be out in the field? Do I go out in the field and then be on meetings all day? Like, what the fuck's the point in that?
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense to me. But I'm okay with going out in the field a little bit more. It means more money for me.
Oh yeah.
Because now I can actually get overtime and live out.
Nice.
Yes, we're staying in Lillooet. It's okay. I don't understand why Lillooet is a town that size. Like what is there?
It's too big.
What is there
for the nothing there?
Yeah,
it's because it's like partway between two places.
But where?
I don't know.
Like what's north of Lillooet is towns I've never heard of.
It's a corner.
It is a corner.
They were like, this is a good spot to like fill up your wagon with a barrel of mead. And it just grew from there.
There is a substation there, so there might be a power plant close by.
There's a nice view of the river.
There is a nice view of the river, that's for sure.
I think it's just like, it's just traditional, like, stop along the wagon trail, basically, and it just stayed there.
Yeah, could be.
Like, what's there to do here?
I don't know. There's two rivers that meet.
Yeah, but like what? We don't fish them or anything.
No, but there is a pulp mill.
But how many people are employed at the pulp mill?
Yeah, but when you get an industry like that, it kind of.
But the mine is like Logan Lake, dude. Like that's the only reason people work here.
There was the mine.
Well, yeah, but like when did that close? Like 1950?
Yeah, something like that.
But like seriously, like the only reason people live here is because they don't want to live at Logan Lake.
Yeah.
Like, anyways. There's like, this is a tourism city basically.
It is now.
Or like literally it's a stop on the way. It's like you're going from Vancouver to Calgary. Well, I guess you're going through Kamloops.
Yeah.
So that's what Lillooet is when you're
Yeah.
going to Williams Lake.
Williams Lake the long way.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah, it's a town. It's there. It's got the dam or whatever.
Yeah.
And yeah, the hotels are not very nice.
well, I can't believe it. The hotels in Lillooet aren't very
It's
nice.
it's better than the hotels in Lytton. The hotel in Lytton, because the rest aren't there anymore.
Yeah, no kidding.
The boys were staying there, and the windows were just completely iced up.
Oh yeah,
The power
Single
would
pane?
just randomly turn off.
single pane window.
Yeah.
Oh my god, and the power would turn off.
Yeah,
Well,
they
I
just
guess-
lose power. They'd be like, "Oh man, we got to get a heater in here," and they plug their heater in.
Oh, and
'Cause
break
it'd be
the
so
circuit.
cold, the circuit would just go.
Yeah. Yeah, all
That was
the-
during that cold
ev-
snap.
everything burnt down. All the substations and everything burnt down there. So they have one wire going into Lytton.
Yeah, pretty much.
Crazy.
So yeah, I'm gonna be traveling this week to go to Lytton and the Lillooet area
Oh,
on
my.
Tuesday. Of course, we all have Monday off if you're Canadian
Yes.
and in BC.
Is Family Day across the country now,
No,
or is
I
ours
think
still different?
Ours is still different. Family
So,
Day is still just BC, I think.
But it's like in September everywhere else.
I don't know. Not entirely sure.
Because now we have Truth and Reconciliation Day in September instead of Family Day.
Oh,
Yeah, I think BC's the only province that was like, nah, we'll just do it in February.
yeah. could be.
Everywhere else is on the same day because we're so fucking stupid here. But now we at least have Truth and Reconciliation Days. And oh no, wait, that's federal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's not provincial.
no, it's federal.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So more
So
holidays.
there's two
more
stats.
holidays. Let's do it.
2 stats in that month that Truth and Reconciliation Day is.
The only good thing to come out of the whole situation is an extra stat.
I guess. So far, anyway.
Yeah, I mean, but leading like the reason for it pretty bad.
Yes.
Usually, like federal holidays are like good things, more or
Yeah.
less. You know,
More or
Like,
less, yeah.
It's like, you know, we got Christmas Day and blah blah blah. I guess Remembrance Day, it's a little not so good or whatever. Truth and Reconciliation Day is about remembering how bad it was, not how good it was. So,
Yes,
Anyways,
definitely.
I don't want to get into it for.
Yeah,
If you want to, if you're American, you want to figure it out, just Google it. You can read all about our horrible history.
Yeah. Yeah, so I've got vacation coming up, which is going to be good.
Nice.
I de-stress there.
I think when you're on vacation, you can legally slap your boss.
Probably.
Yeah, so make sure you do that.
Other than that, upgraded the printer to a magnetic print bed that's flexible. So my
Okay.
prints don't stick as much
All right.
or at all now. Well,
So
they stick.
do you still
in
need the
order to print.
prophylactic?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
because it still needs to be hot.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
still way too cold in this basement.
Yeah, okay.
Been playing or watched.
Mm-hmm.
Still watching The Witcher.
Why?
Season 2. It's
Why?
actually not too bad. The first episode of season 2, I was like, okay, what are you guys doing here? Because
Mhm.
it was like some sort of Beauty and the Beast thing, and it was really weird.
Okay.
But,
Was it a monster?
well, no, it was a friend who had been turned into a beast.
Yeah.
But then the beauty came in, and he's like all magical, and stuff's happening. I'm like, what the hell is this episode? It's, it
yeah.
wasn't very good. But the subsequent episodes have been okay.
All right.
Not mine.
A glowing recommendation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Started watching Physical 100, the Netflix special, which is like a
Oh.
actual
Yeah, I think I saw
game
this
show,
on there.
but kind of Squid Gamey,
Yeah.
and it's got like the 100 most
erotic men.
yeah, Koreans.
Oh yeah.
It's like Koreans of all shapes and sizes
Yeah.
from all different backgrounds competing in physical events. So there's like YouTube influencers, there's CrossFit trainers, there's military, there's gymnasts, Olympicists,
Olympicians?
what the
What's the word?
what is the word?
Athletes.
Yeah, let's just go with athletes. And it's funny.
Olympians.
Olympians, that's the word.
That's the word.
That's the word.
Wow.
The
We're
place.
40.
Yes. So the whole show starts off with everyone kind of getting introduced a little bit, like the major players, and they have a big circular room, and everyone's got like a bust of them, but it's just like neck down, like torso.
Like a Beethoven bust you'd have on your piano?
Yeah, but like just their torso.
Oh, it's
So
like
it's just and they're all like jacked and crazy muscular and stuff.
Oh my god.
And so everyone starts filtering in. They find their busts. Like the first one who came in was a like the gold medal
Mhm.
winner for gymnastics from like the previous
Okay.
summer games.
Mhm.
And he comes in, he sees this thing, and then everyone starts kind of filtering in. There's military people coming in. They're like, oh, hey, I know you. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're on the Olympic team. And it gets to like just a little bit over half the people in there.
Mhm.
And one guy comes in who's an MMA fighter,
Mhm.
and everyone just like, and they're like, oh my God, it's him. It's
Yeah.
him. Everyone just starts clapping.
Conor
and
McGregor
cheering.
is here.
I can't remember what his name is, but
Yeah.
he's like a 45-year-old MMA fighter who still like kicks it.
Yeah.
He just comes in, just full suit, just suave as frig. And we're like, oh, okay. Yeah, that guy looks cool as frig.
Yeah. So what's the point of it?
It's just they're going to find out what the best physical body is for whatever reason.
Like what sort of,
The ideal body type is
based off of your profession?
based off of how well you do in these challenges.
But I mean, like, it'll be like, oh, the winner was a janitor.
yeah, could be.
Okay. So it's just sort of like whoever, and it's just like American Ninja Warrior.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so the first challenge is everyone has to hang off of a thing and just hang by their arms as long as possible.
Okay.
And it's like people of all shapes and sizes, right? So there's huge muscular bodybuilders that are like 300 pounds trying to like hold themselves up on these bars.
Yeah.
And they go like, it goes down, like the first episode goes down to the gymnast.
So they eliminate people from that. Like if you fall off first, you're out.
This isn't one of the elimination rounds. This is a
Oh,
special, like you get a
okay.
bonus.
Oh, okay.
if
I was
you-
gonna say like, because that would be like all the muscle bodybuilders would
Yeah,
be out
exactly.
first round because
Exactly.
they can't hold themselves up. But like the light guys who have a strong grip would be able to stay up there forever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it like that, everyone starts dropping. It comes down to like the gymnast and one other guy.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
then you see
This guy does the parallel bars and this guy does the rings. They're the
well,
last two.
it was actually a military guy who was special forces,
Oh yeah.
and he was just hanging up there, just like
No sweat or anything.
just no sweat, just military
Just
trained and
chilling.
just like chilling.
Yeah.
Same with the gymnast,
Yeah,
and
of course.
one of them falls and then it just cuts. You don't know till the next episode.
No,
We've only watched the
what
one
a-
episode, but it's actually it's pretty good so
Yeah.
far. It's pretty interesting
Yeah.
because everyone's like super respectful
Of course.
and all that.
They're not a Canadian or American or
Yeah.
Australian
There's one
New Zealand
white
or
German
British.
guy in there though.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Does he speak Korean?
Oh, fluently.
Oh, nice.
It's kind of funny.
Yeah, just different culture.
Yeah.
I mean, I
it's
guess if
great.
it was a Canadian version of the show, Americans would be like, "Wow, these guys are so nice to each other."
Probably.
Yeah. So, just layers upon layers.
Yeah. It's pretty good.
Cool.
It's pretty good. Other than that, played, of course, the Game Club game,
Uh-huh.
which is the
Outer
Outer
Worlds.
Worlds.
Yep.
And a lot of Dead Cells. Like a lot of Dead Cells. I've been really
Dead Cells.
Yeah, I picked it up a while ago. It's a roguelike side-scrolling
Hard as hell.
Souls-like game.
Hard as hell.
Yeah, maybe that's the game we were playing when we were talking
No,
about it in the
I don't
pre-show.
think so. I don't think Dead Cells was out then. We were
Yeah.
talking pre-stream about an old game Mikey T played, but
Yeah.
I don't think it was Dead Cells. When did you buy Dead Cells?
A while ago, like a couple years.
No, this was been like 4 years ago.
Yeah, it
So.
might have been that long ago.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah, I just picked it up again. I had played it a little bit when it first came out.
But now you're like, I got this Steam Deck here. I can lay on the couch.
Yeah,
play
it's
Dead
so
Cells.
nice on the Steam Deck. Just play Dead Cells
Yeah.
all day long. It's
Mhm.
great.
Nice.
There's a lot of crossovers.
Yes.
I was just like roaming around. Like when you're in the first level, you find where the crossovers are for like crossover weapons and equipment and stuff. And I was just rolling around. I'm like,
Crossover
oh.
with other games, you mean?
Yeah, crossovers
Yeah.
with other games.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. There are a lot.
Mhm.
And I was like, I came into this room, I'm like, this room doesn't look familiar to me at all.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, oh, there's a crowbar.
Oh, what are you, Gordon Freeman?
Yeah. And then you go roll into the next room, like, oh, there's an EVA suit.
Oh my god, crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
Nice.
There's a lot of crossovers. There's like Shovel Knight crossovers.
Oh, of course.
There's Risk of Rain crossovers.
Oh yeah.
There's Slay the Spire crossovers.
Mm.
It's pretty fun.
Yeah, I've seen it before. It looks interesting,
Yeah.
but I don't know. It seemed a little more hard than I would want to play a game.
Well, I think you might actually like it if you like Dead Souls or Dark Souls
yeah.
rather.
I do.
Yeah, because the combat is like that. where you have to like anticipate attacks, dodge rolls, or block and stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but
It's literally a 2D Dark Souls.
yeah, it's literally a 2D Dark Souls, except you can go very, very fast. It's been tuned for the speedrunning community.
Oh, yeah.
So whenever you finish a level, there's like a door or two after in the rest area. And if you beat it in under X amount of minutes, you can go into the one door. And if you beat the level by killing, 30 to 60 guys without taking damage, you get to go in the other door and get a bunch of bonuses.
Bonuses. Nice.
Yeah, it's very fast. You can just fly through levels. It's great.
Nice.
Been having a lot of fun with that.
Cool.
Yeah. What'd
That's
you
nice.
play? The list is full of games that you may or may not have played.
Sure, I'll do the games first. I played them
Yeah.
all.
You played them all?
I played them all.
Wow.
Finished off Parasite Eve finally.
Oh, nice.
So I played on, I think I started it on like Christmas Day. I think I streamed on Christmas Day. And I played,
That's apt for that game.
yeah,
actually.
exactly. Because it takes place over, that's why I did it.
Yeah.
And I played the first 3 days, I think, which is like 5 hours or something like that. But then the last 3 days are like 4 hours, but day 4 is like 3 hours long or something like that. So anyways, I wrapped it up. I played this on my PS3 with my PS1 disc, and I streamed it. And I haven't played it since it came out, so it's been like since 1999 or whenever it came out. That's when I beat it.
Yeah, watching you play it was like, oh my god, the nostalgia.
I know, it's big time. And there's a lot of things. I still enjoyed the game, but you can tell it's like from that era because there's a lot of sort of quality of life changes that are not in the game.
Yeah.
For example, the end boss, you have to fight the ultimate being who goes through 4 forms, right? So you have to beat it 4 times.
Yep.
Once it's beat, it comes back to life one more time, and you have to run away from it out of battle. So you have to run into the ship, and it chases you down, and you look at the little map of the ship, and she thinks, I got to run this way. So when you run through the ship, it's chasing you down. It keeps getting a little faster and a little faster, and you're supposed to go to the boiler room, hit a button, so the ship will, like, explode.
Yeah.
But you're trying to avoid this thing, right? So I get to the boiler room, and I'm, like, trying to give it a wide berth. So I run around the button.
Yeah.
And I climb the stairs. And then when you climb the stairs, it shows the bad guy drop into the room. And you can see the button on the console like flashing. It's like, fuck, I didn't hit the button.
Yeah.
So you keep running, and it's like you keep running, and the thing gets faster and faster. It flies up, touches you. Game over. You're dead.
Yeah.
Go to the start screen again. So then you go back into the game. And in a modern game, once you beat his 4 forms, it'd be like, do you want to save? Here's a quick save, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Here's an autosave. Not in this game. It's like, beat the 4 forms again. So I had to fight him again. It's not a hard fight. It's just like, it takes 10 minutes, and there's unskippable cutscenes, blah, blah, blah. So it's like, fuck. So then I'm thinking like, okay, in that room, there's a save spot. So it's like, oh, maybe that's what they thought. You can save yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So I run in the room, I pick up, and it's saved by phone in this game. You pick up the phone, you dial like the precinct, and you like, that's how you save. So I pick up the phone, it dials, it rings, and it's like, sorry, this is not available right now. And it's not like a menu. It's real time. So the thing is crawling towards you as you're doing it. And I'm just like, no. Thankfully, it didn't touch me. But it was like a hair away from touching me. So I managed to escape, get through, press the button, and I get out. But I just was like, oh my God. In a modern game, like,
oh yeah,
they would not have done this to you.
That
So.
wouldn't fly.
But I beat it. It was cool. Very dated graphically and everything.
Oh yeah.
Like the cutscenes are like, whoa, baby.
There's a lot of pixels.
Well, even like just the animations and like just everything is so like early CG video game.
Yeah, it's like Resident Evil 1.
I mean, Resident Evil 1's cutscenes were real time, but well, there's a few.
But the graphics, like in
the graphics,
game.
but like the actual animated cutscenes, they're CG, but they're like something you could make.
Yeah.
Now with your computer, real time.
Yeah.
That's how bad these are. But the music's still good. The story's still interesting. Not that I'm saying you would make a bad thing, but I'm just saying, like, as someone who doesn't do animation,
I know what you're saying.
you could make something like that. Come on. But I still enjoyed it, so it was interesting revisiting it. And that was kind of, wrapping that up.
Yeah, nice.
I also played Cyberpunk. So I had Cyberpunk since the day it came out. I've never played it for more than like 2 hours.
Yeah.
Because just the control with the controller, it just didn't feel very good to me. Like, I like FPS on controller. Like, obviously I'm playing the shit out of Outer Worlds.
Mm-hmm.
But Cyberpunk just felt really weird that way.
Yeah.
And I came across the thing where I was like, oh, wait, I wonder if I can use mouse and keyboard on the Xbox.
Oh.
So I Googled it. And yes, there is keyboard and mouse support for Cyberpunk on the Xbox. Unfortunately, you can't, like, change the buttons. So, like, the way it is now is, like, F is sort of activate if you want to open a door. Whereas, like, I'd really like that to be E, but you can't change it. Or, like, sneak is hold down tab and you can't change it to toggle. So you have to, like, hold down the tab while you're sneaking. And if you want to do a stealth kill, you have to, like, hit F. So it's not the
That
best.
sounds awful.
It's not the best, but it
Why
works.
Tab.
I don't know. That's just what it is.
Oh God.
Yeah, so it's not the best. And you can't turn on toggle. That was the thing. I was like, oh, if I can turn on toggle, fine, whatever. No, you can't turn on toggle. But I've been playing it that way. It controls so much better with mouse and keyboard, except when driving. Of course, I pick up my controller and drive. But it was just like, yeah, when you aimed in it with the controller, it was like kind of floaty and you'd swing around a lot and everything. So I didn't really like it, but it's way better now. I've already got farther than I've ever gotten in it.
Yeah. Huh,
I'm almost to having Johnny Silverhand.
Oh.
Almost.
Ooh.
I'm on my way to steal Johnny Silverhand. So I'm excited
Man.
to continue that
Yeah.
because I've literally, the furthest I ever got was like completing the first mission where you go steal the robot.
Yeah.
That was like the furthest I ever got.
Hmm.
Because I looked at my saves. There was 4 saves, and it was like save 1 was from version 1.01. Then there's like version 1.2, version 1.4, and then version 1.6. And now I'm on playing. It's version 1.61. So I've played it. I've tried it all the way through, and I did notice too, like they've toned down the junk you can find. Because I remember, like, famously in air quotes, the first time I played it, it was just junk everywhere, and it was all butt plugs. I found out like 40 butt plugs just laying around outside everywhere.
Yeah.
Now there's like literally when you leave V's apartment, there was like no junk, virtually no junk.
Virtually none.
Yeah, but when I first played it, it was just like fucking butt plugs just everywhere. It was like an orgy of the whole city. They were just squirting them out everywhere.
I didn't. When I started playing, I didn't find any objects do sex until I got to like the sex store.
Oh yeah. No, I found like legitimately like 20 of them. It was crazy. Just every piece of junk I found was a butt plug.
I was expecting studded dildos all over the place when I first started playing
No.
because of your
Well,
review of it.
exactly.
I was like, "Ain't studded dildos
Well, that
anywhere,
was
man."
like version 1.01. But there is still like lots of glitchy shit. Like I parked my car and like Jackie just walked right through the car. Like he's like, I'm going to this door. There's nothing that's gonna stop me. He just turned into a ghost and walked through the car. So there's still like, and I teleported. Like I went through a door and I teleported. I was climbing a wall somehow. I was like, how do you even climb a wall? I didn't even know if that was possible. So I had to climb down the corner, and then I was like, it was weird as hell.
It's strange.
Yeah. So,
Very strange.
but yeah, and then so what I've been trying to do for 2023 gaming and streaming is I want to have like a modern day game going and a retro game going at the same time. So I finished Parasite Eve, and I was going to play Ico as my next game, the PS2 game. But then I Googled it, and the game's only like 4 hours long. So I was like, well, that's not really the kind of game I want to do as my sort of retro gameplay.
No.
So I was like,
what are you considering retro?
like 360 or older, basically.
Okay.
So I was like, what can I play here? And I'm looking through my listings. And, I want to kind of do it on the console, not really PC, but anyways. I was like, oh, yeah, I got all these Final Fantasy games that I bought. Like, I've beaten a 7, 8, 9. And I was like, oh, yeah, Final Fantasy 9. I'm like, fucking Jesus Christ. Even Mikey T's beat that game. Or at least played the majority of it.
No, 9? No, all the way. That's my favorite Final Fantasy.
Yeah, so I'm like, I have never even beat that. I've never even really got anywhere in that game. So I was like, okay, that's my new game I'm going to play. So, because that's like the only one up to 13.2 that I haven't beaten.
And, whoa, wow. It's one of the only ones I have.
But like, I mean, like that have been released like in the time frame of like I never beat Final Fantasy 2 or 3 because they weren't released in North America until later. So I've beaten 1, 2, American 2, American 3, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, no, 11, 12, 13, 13 2, up to that, I had never beaten 9 was the only one that I never did. So I was like, I got to do 9. So I'm on the 9.
Nice.
And the first battle, I was like, damn, this battle theme, man. Classic.
Yeah.
Classic. So I got, I got Garnet and I got Steiner and I got VV and I got, what's his name? The little monkey boy. Zidane. Yeah, there you go. And I'm in the ice tunnel. I'm playing the Xbox version that's been remastered. And like all the character models and all the enemy models and everything look great. The cutscenes, they've done a lot of work on the major cutscenes, but like a lot of the minor cutscenes and all the backgrounds are like very muddy and like obviously up-res from their like 360 by whatever.
Yeah, 360 by 480.
Yeah, like
240
size.
rather.
Yeah, so they don't look particularly good. And sometimes it's like hard to tell like where you're supposed to walk because it's just so ambiguous, basically.
Yeah, it's just like a blurry background blowing up to like 1080. And you're like,
It was like,
my
I could
God."
walk. That's where I'm supposed to go. I could walk on that. Like I didn't know. So, but I am enjoying it, and it's an interesting battle or like leveling up mechanic with learning skills from the items and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But the battles are pretty slow. Like the ATB meter
Oh yeah, it crawls.
goes very slow. So, but I think I played Elder Scrolls Online, but I played that a lot before, so
Yes.
nothing really to say about that. I played that with the tank. Had a fun time, but
I
it was
saw-
totally just like skip the story. Who cares? I've already done the story. I don't care. Tank doesn't care about the story, so it's just like let's just kill stuff and have some fun. So
Nice.
but I did watch a couple things.
You did.
I'll quickly go over these.
Let's do it.
Infinity Pool. It's like a new horror movie.
I thought that was going to be a video game.
No, that's a new horror movie starring Alexander Skarsgård from True Blood.
Yep.
And Tarzan.
Yep.
And Mia Goth, who is unfortunately married to Shia LaBeouf, but she was in like X and Pearl. She's kind of like the hot horror girl right now, kind of. And this movie's, they're on vacation. He's an author. And they're on this weird island where they have made this law because they want tourists to come. But if a tourist commits a crime and they're going to be executed, they can have a clone made to be killed instead of them. Yeah, it's a little science fiction-y a little bit. So he accidentally kills a guy and then he gets arrested and then they make a clone of him. But the clone has like perfect memories of everything.
Yeah.
So then it's part of like, well, did my clone get killed or am I the clone or am I the real guy or whatever? And then it's also like, you can do like by the end, it's happened to him like 4 times. So that when your clone gets killed, they give you like the ashes. Like here's a memorial and he's got like all these jars of his ashes and shit like that. So it's fucked up. I don't really know how it ends and whatever. I enjoyed it. It was interesting, but it was just like, what was going on there?
It's weird.
It was very like cool, like cinematography and the special effects were cool and whatever. But it was just like, whoa, what's going on here? How does it end? Is he real? Is he whatever? So. But I also watched the new Hellraiser.
Ah, yes.
Have you seen this?
No.
So I like Hellraiser 1.
Yep, me too.
Hellraiser 2
Yep.
is okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Hellraiser 3, is that the one that is like the 2 timelines in it? Okay. So the only good Hellraisers are 1 and 2.
Yes. Confirmed.
All the other Doug Bradley ones are bad. Doug Bradley is rad as Hellraiser.
Yes.
Those parts are radical, but those movies all suck.
Yes.
And then they moved on and got rid of Doug Bradley and they got the Great Value Hellraiser. And I've seen some of those. Those are also not good.
Correct.
They're pretty bad.
Yes.
So when I heard there's a new Hellraiser, I was like, I'll have to check it out. I'll have to check it out. Yeah. And I'm thinking, is it Haya or is it Fuyo? So by the end, I was like, Fuyo!
Yeah, very nice.
Dude, you got to watch this.
Yeah?
It was so good. So Pinhead is a woman this time.
Okay.
Female Pinhead. But the other Cenobites are so disturbing and so good, right? They look so good. The special effects are all good. The story is like interesting and kind of like, a new sort of spin on the Hellraiser thing. Because like in the other Hellraiser movies, the puzzle box always changes, but they always call it the lament configuration.
Yeah.
But that's just the one shape.
Mm-hmm. That's just the lament configuration, really.
Yeah, I just thought that was what the puzzle box was called. But every shape is a different configuration.
Mm-hmm.
So they explain more about the configuration. Maybe they do that in the other like crappier Great Value Hellraisers that I've never really watched. But they really explain it in this one about the different configurations. Like this is the Lazarus configuration and this, that, and the other thing. But there is a part where I'm like, okay, this is stupid. Like, what is going on? Like, there's a guy in the real world. He's human, but he has like, anyways, I don't want to spoil it too much. But then they explain what happened and what led to that. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, okay. I thought it was stupid, but it actually works. So I'm okay with it. But yeah, I liked it a lot. And
nice.
It was not like, there was no, it wasn't like this is the PG-13 Hellraiser,
Yeah.
It was like pretty,
full on.
It was pretty gross.
Hellraiser has to be full on.
Maybe not as gross as like the first Hellraiser where he's in the room like, no skin. But yeah, it was good.
Yeah,
I like it.
nice.
I recommend it.
Nice.
I recommend it a lot. So I had to watch that illegally because
Of course.
it is on Hulu Plus in the States, but in Canada they put it on whatever instead of Disney Plus. Because Hulu's owned by Disney.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
That doesn't
So
make any sense.
other Hulu Plus stuff ends up on Disney in Canada. Like that Mordock cartoon.
Yeah.
MODOK.
Yeah.
That's on Hulu in the States. But it's on Disney Plus here. Same thing with Prey, the new Predator movie,
Yep.
which I haven't watched yet. I should. That's on Hulu Plus in the States, but it's on Disney Plus here.
Yeah, you really need to watch that.
Yeah, I know.
I'm like,
I know.
wait a minute, have I seen that? I'm like, yeah, I've seen it.
I know.
It's
I
good.
know. I know. I know it's good. I could tell it was good, but I mean, I thought Hellraiser was going to be good. I can usually tell, like, when I see the trailer, like, okay, this is probably going to be pretty good. I always thought Prey looked like it was going to be incredible. So
Yeah.
I got to watch it. But yeah, Hellraiser, I just was like, oh, yeah, okay, I'll check this out. I'll finally do it. And I was like, oh, yeah, okay, sweet.
Nice.
Good stuff. So that was basically, I don't think I missed anything. I think that was it. I was still so shell-shocked about the computers that I just couldn't do anything else.
Very good.
Yeah.